The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madej, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
Jennifer, how may we as women bolster our self-worth? Because it isn't just financial, is it? Even if, a woman were to make $1 million a year, there still may not be that high sense of self-worth that it takes to be able to get it done, get the job done. So how do we do that?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't want to boil it all down to make it so simple, like make more money and everything's going to be perfect.
It definitely helps.
Right. But yeah, it definitely helps. So I'm a big fan of finding your tribe, right? Mm-hmm. Finding the women that have been through the same thing that you have been through, the people who have been through the same thing you do, anybody who was not thought of in the Constitution, basically. Like, it's like finding that tribe to be like, you know what? I'm not crazy. This is happening to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And acknowledge it. Now, how do we change it? How do I get the confidence? Use them, as great allies to help build that confidence and to build you up, because we all go down. It's like yesterday, I did not have a great day. Like, it was just like, oh my God, one thing after another. And it's like, but then today, like a friend of mine who knew all the things I was going through was just like, no. Like, we are not having that. You did nothing wrong. Like, it is, totally not your fault. Like, we're moving on from that, and you need those people. Like, it doesn't matter how, powerful you are or whatever, you're making the $1 million, making the 10 million, being a billionaire, like you need that like grounding, right? So to find that tribe is definitely a must. And that maybe those are not the people that you drink wine with on Friday nights,
right? Right.
And they don't have to be. Maybe they're not your friends for 20 years. And for the most part, those aren't, mine either. But I do have my tribe of women. Like, it's like, can you believe this? And I could be every 6 months I talk to them,
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have found your tribe, and that helps you to not only talk the talk, but you walk the walk. And one of those tribes, if I may say, and it's something, another thing I think we share in common is the We Suite, right?
Yeah.
And you sat on the board and just comment on how being part of a community of women who have gone through similar experiences, even if not in the same industry, how that just helps and maybe serves as a bit of catharsis.
Yeah, I just think like identifying with other people and being like, oh my God, that happened to you too. And like, you know what I mean? And then just being heard and listened to, and knowing that your ideas acknowledged and your ideas are, worthy and powerful, and all the things that you may or may not have gotten in a job where you were the only, you were the other. And you feel like you fit in, because that builds confidence, right? It builds you a lot of confidence.
Yes.
And so, I am a big believer, and I know that you are a holistic, life and wealth, can also be the WELLTH, wellness
right.
and health and wealth all combined.
Yes.
Are really important for women, I think, for everybody, but, women as community members and mothers,
Thank you so much for saying that, because yes, I do believe in a holistic lifestyle. I just happen to try to advocate it and support it and teach it through the lens of beauty, right, and plastic surgery. But I firmly believe in the multiple dimensions of wellness, and one of those dimensions is financial. Because if we were to envision every aspect of our lives as a circle, one of those pies of the circle is financial wellness. And if you don't have that, it's easy to see how other things, that follow or are related to it just may not be as healthy. So thank you for saying that. We'll just shift a little bit and enter into your personal life just a bit, just for a peek, because you're so amazing. And it's just like, oh, but wait, she also does this. You are raising 2 children, a boy and a girl, as a single mother. Am I correct?
You are correct. Yes.
Amazing. Yeah. Hashtag beyond next level. I don't know how you do it. I can't even imagine. I've got 2 dogs. I could barely do that. What are you teaching your children about gender equality? Are you advising your son a bit differently from your daughter?
No, I'm trying to show them why it's so important, right? And, so that takes advice, talking to them both about history and what had happened. And so, they've been in many marches already, probably like 6, and they're like 7 years old. So it's really, first it was very funny because, there's Jack and Nico are their names, and Nico's the girl. And they have been, around a lot of women. There's no father. Jack sees his sister in dance recitals. He sees mommy on stage or on TV. Yeah. And he's like, Mommy, why are only girls on stage or on TV? Laughing, like, what? And then one time I realized that all of our doctors are women. And we went to the doctor once when they were sick. And it was a man, it wasn't our normal doctor. And it was like whoever was available was a man. And the guy walked out and they both were like, Mommy, boys can be doctors too. And I was like, okay, funny. Maybe I gotta even this out a little bit so he doesn't feel like he's like an enemy, right?
Right.
And then they start very soon when they get into like school, kindergarten, first grade, like boys versus girls, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And really it's just about educating, right? Educating, they have the books She Persisted. They like them very much. They have books about Black Lives Matter. They have, it's just really important to say, like, look, you're valid, you're important no matter what, and not how you were born. But sometimes, and it has been historically, that other people are not thought of as the same.
Yes.
That is not okay. We need to understand how our relationship to that is, and you're not a bad person just because you were born, but like understand that there are certain things that other people experience that you don't experience, right?
Yeah.
And try to hold it in that very mindful way. And so, I have to be very, careful with.
Yes.
And I'm very, well, not careful necessarily. I mean, I'm very intentional with how, I talk about, women and all the power around it. Yeah.
I can only imagine that adds a bit more on your already massively full plate, because there is so much going on in the world now. And to be, a young person, a child growing up now, you really need the guidance of somebody woke and intelligent and sensitive and compassionate, all of the things that you are. So kudos, congratulations to your helping to make the world a more beautiful place through your children.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of the other numerous things I admire about you is obviously you're a business badass, you're a mother, and you still take the time to put your best face forward with style and beauty. You obviously love fashion and style. How do you manage it all? I mean, I could imagine that you have super busy days, or if you're not having a great day, you could just wake up, just be like, I gotta go and just throw something on, but you don't, right? You're very intentional about your appearance, which I appreciate. So how do you do that? And what sort of importance do you put on the quote unquote, the superficial?
Well, I think it was that all of that was more applicable pre-COVID, I have to say. Like, I did finally buy some sweatpants in COVID, which I did not own prior to that. But ultimately, it just makes me feel better, right?
Yeah.
It's like you feel better when, I do it for me. And, when I just like, I feel like down or whatever, if I'm dressing in things that make me feel good, or, putting on my skincare or whatever makeup that is, it just, when you catch that glimpse of yourself in the mirror, like, oh, okay, I look good. And so like, oh God,
Right.
And I don't think it's, well, yes, while it can be superficial, it's also, it does build some confidence. It makes you feel better,
Yeah. I'm
feel
right there
healthier.
with you.
Yeah.
Right there with you.
Yeah.
You mentioned skincare, and I
Yeah.
could talk about that for hours, but I won't. We're coming to a close of this interview, but you mentioned skincare. Do you have a self-care routine that involves skincare or other things?
Mine is, it's just pretty consistent. I don't use a lot of products. I've never have. I'm very simple in all of my makeup and all of the different applications that I've used. I have switched a lot more to clean beauty,
Mhm.
with my stuff, although there are some serums that I really love and continue to use. And, as my skin ages, I'm just constantly like trying to find the right things for my skin internally and externally.
Good for you.
So it's a constant quest. It's not like one routine that I have,
Yeah,
but I'm always searching for the best routine, really.
I got you. And it is, our
Yeah.
skin is dynamic and it does change as,
Yeah.
the years come on. So yeah, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for you. I'm going to give you 5 sets of 2 things. And I just want you to quickly off the top of your mind, tell me the one that resonates with you most. So the first one is red sheath dress or blue pantsuit.
Red dress.
Yeah. Red lipstick or nude lip gloss.
Red lipstick.
Kitten heel or stiletto.
Stiletto.
Moisturizer or serum.
Serum.
Flat iron or curling iron.
Curling iron.
Oh, flat iron girl. Okay. If I were to look into your clothing closet, what would I find that you have too much of?
Oh my God. I have a lot of caftans.
Really?
I have a lot of things. I have way too many stilettos that I've not worn. I have way too many caftans. Well, I don't think you can ever have too many caftans. Yeah. I got a lot of those 2 things.
Yeah.
A lot.
Caftan
And
work.
having just moved into a new apartment.
Yes. What are you
that's
going to
much
do?
bigger. I'm like, oh my God, it still fills up the closet and I need to find space.
I get that.
Here's the thing about shoes too. You can't even if you're done with them, you can't get rid of them. Where you get you've worn them.
Right. I mean, you'd have
It's not
to
like you
wear
can't sell them
them
on the rail. You
Right.
can't
What do you do?
they're not hand-me-downs. It's not like your daughter wants those shoes because shoes
Right.
just progress so much.
Yes.
It's very odd. Yeah.
We're
Position
going
to
to
be
have
in
to
with.
find some kind of installation artist to, either take the shoes, refurbish them, recycle them, and make good out of it. I don't know, something.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Now, if I were to look into your beauty cabinet, what do you have too much of?
Too much nail polish because I never use my own. I have so much of it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think I have way too many serums, but gosh, I mean, this is my industry. Like I try everything. I'm such a beauty addict. Like,
Yeah, I can imagine.
eat it, sleep it, drink it, everything, inhale it. One last beauty question. What is the one beauty product you absolutely cannot be without? One.
Eyebrows.
Really? Eyebrow gel?
Yeah. Well, I have this Kat Von D KVD one. Then I got my hair is very thin and my eyebrows are very non-existent. So I always fill them in. That's the
Okay.
one thing that I can feel like, oh, okay. Pre-COVID, it was my fake eyelashes, but I haven't had fake eyelashes since then.
Oh, love those lash extensions. They make such a big difference, right?
They make such a big difference,
Wow.
but they felt a little weird when it was just me looking at myself. So
Hey, that's okay. I still know people who, wear gowns to take themselves to lunch with their dogs in their house. That's okay. It's all good.
Good
Whatever
for
it
them.
takes.
I know.
Well, Jennifer, the last question is the Fab Five. What are your top 5 recommendations for living a non-negotiable, holistically beautiful life? And I'm going to write these down.
Oh, I would say living with intention and purpose. Follow your instincts. Don't be too hard on yourself. Allow yourself fun and vices.
Okay. That was 4. So live with intention and purpose.
Mhm.
Follow your instincts. Don't be too hard on yourself, and allow for fun and vices. Or would it be allow for fun and then number 5, allow for vices?
No, I think fun and vices, because everyone knows vices are fun. But my 5th is don't be swayed by the traditional.
Okay.
Just because everybody's doing it does not mean it's the best.
I love that. And for you, having felt different all of your life, my God, did that, you followed your instincts. You definitely followed your advice. You followed your instincts. And although you felt different all of your life and didn't fit in, you created a life where you fit out and created something beautiful. And at the same time are helping your tribe and helping the world. So congratulations to you. I think you're just inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations to you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for highlighting women. Thank you for all you're doing as well.
Thank you. I love it. And if it's just another way that I can serve my tribe, then I am all about it. Seriously, all about it. So thank you, Jennifer, for your time today on the Forever Fab podcast. And thank you, listeners, for listening to this episode of the Forever Fab podcast. This brings us to the close of our interview with my guest, fabulous guest, Jennifer Justice. For more information on what Jennifer may offer you and how she may support you and help build you up, you can visit thejusticedepartment.com, and that's justicedept.com. And you may follow her on IG at Jennifer Justice League. As always, if you like this episode of the Forever Fab podcast, please share it and subscribe to the feed. And for holistic beauty tips or to set up an appointment with me to strengthen yourself and your strategies to come back stronger and even more fabulous than ever, go to elementsandgraces.com and sign up for my newsletter. And lastly, for an online e-consultation on time, anytime, on your time, visit clicklift.com for your wellness, plastic surgery, and beauty questions on the go. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you, my beautiful listener, for listening to this week's Forever Fab podcast episode. Until next time, stay beautiful and fabulous inside and out.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty, curated by Dr. Shirley Madeir, MD. Live beautifully and help make the world a more beautiful place.